In this example, I'm going to demonstrate how to calculate the total of a list of numbers that are in an input file and then find the average. This is something that it kind of is done all the time in programming, where you have a list of information, or in more advanced programmings, maybe you have an array that stores numbers in it, and you have to, find the sum of all the values that are in there, or the average, or it can get more complicated, the minimum, the maximum. But let's just start off by saying I have created an input file. You can see it right here in Notepad. It's got 5 numbers in it, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All right, and here, just a reminder, I have my FStream library here. I've declared my input file stream variable. Number is going to be the variable that's going to actually hold the numbers as they come in from the input file. I'm going to be accumulating a total. So that means the first time I'm going to read in 10, right? And I'm just showing you where I'm getting my numbers from. 10 is the first one, then 20, 30, 40, 50. So number is going to, total initially will just be, it'll have the first number in it, 10, but then we're going to add to the total. So it'll be 10 plus the next number in the file, which is 20. So the total will become 30. And then we're going to add into that, 30 is the next number in the file. We'll add that into the total of 30, and that gives us 60, and so on. This is going to hold our average, and here we're going to have a little counter that's going to keep track of how many numbers we read in from the file. Because if we need to know the average, we're going to need to know, we're going to have to be able to take that total and divide by how many numbers there are. Now we know that there's 5 in the file now, but after I demonstrate how this works, I'm going to change the input file. All right, so this is going to open up my input file. That's the one I just showed you, numbers.txt, right? Here's our little section of code that we add in to make sure that the input file is actually found. And this is what my loop looks like. Now we've looked at the end of file function before. While we haven't reached the end of file marker, we're going to read a number from the input file and store it in this variable number. So the first time through, it'll read in 10. Now this is what accumulates our total, right? Total initially is 0, and the only way this is going to work ever is if your total is initialized to 0 to begin with. First time through the loop, this will be 0. The number we read in is 10, and so it's going to be 0 plus 10, and the total, the first time through the loop, is going to be 10. Our number counter, which again was initialized to 0, and it has to be, is going to get incremented, and now that's going to be 1. Okay, we go through the loop. We're still not at the end of the file. We read in the next number, which is 20. So now this time the total is going to become 10 plus the new number, which is 20. So our total is going to become 30, and our number counter is going to get incremented to 2. Now we read in the third number, which is 30, and just remember this, all this that I'm talking about is what's in the input file, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So the next number is 30. So now we have our total plus our number, which is 30, and we assign that back into our total variable, which is 60, and our number counter becomes 3. Next we read in 40, so the number becomes 40, so our total is 60 plus 40. Okay, so now 100 is in total. Our number counter becomes 5. And then we read in our next number, which is 50. So our total is 100 plus 50. So total becomes 150. Oops, geez, that should have been a 4, sorry. And then we increment that to 5. I was getting ahead of myself. And now we reach the end of file marker. So it should come out here and say there are 5 numbers in the file. The total of numbers in the file is 150. And then here, I'm taking my total 150, I'm dividing by 5, is going to be my average. And I'm going to, I think I have some of this. I'm just going to move that down so you can see everything. And I'm going to run this. Oops. Sorry, I think I was already running. Right, there are 5 numbers in the file. The total is 150. The average is 30. So that's exactly what it does. So this, and then I close my input file. Okay, we don't really need that there. I'll take that out. Okay. The benefit to this is, right, I could put more numbers in here. So I'll put in 100 and 200, and then I'll save my input file, and then I'll run this program again. And now you could see it was 150, right? But I added 300 to that, so it's 450. There's 7 numbers in the file, and so the average is 64. Okay. This is my preferred way to do this. The textbook author might do it like this. And remember, I'll show you here, okay. So I'm going to select all this. I just do control period. That'll comment that out. And you can see that it runs. Okay. Just one other note here. If you wanted to, you could use a plus equal operator. That's often done when you're accumulating a total or a sum, just because that does the same thing, right? When total is on the left and the right side of the assignment operator, you can use a shortcut assignment operator. Okay, so I'm going to post this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit control period. I'm going to come back to this code, and I'm going to hit control comma. That'll uncomment it, and I'm going to leave this version saved in the file just because that is my preferred version.